Hello, my name is Kuno Brodersen. I am the CEO of Qualiware, a tool vendor that supports EA tool, enterprise architecture tool, BA tools, and BPM tools. Basically, the tool has two components, a modeling and analysis component and a collaborative component where we share the content. I'm very proud to be here to speak at the BP Trends website, and I hope that with this I can give you a little bit of ideas of why we're here and what we do in general. Qualiware feel that there is a need for big businesses to react rapidly to market dynamics. And this is made difficult by the complexity in the business, obviously, but also the fact that for most people change is viewed as a negative thing. We've identified three major aspects or focus areas that needs to be addressed. And we call them the 3 C's. First is coherency, the second is consensus, and the last is consistency. So coherency is about establishing a holistic view of your business. Having little islands of knowledge in Word and Visio and PowerPoint floating all around, that's not a holistic view of the business. That's just files. But what you need to do is to create an architecture where components and objects are linked to each other, a view that does not sit in the head of any individual person, but is something we know all together. This view, this model, this architecture will be used for analysis and for sharing and reusing of objects. If I want to change a focus area, I lift that focus area up and all impacted areas will be shown directly. The other C, consensus, is important because you really want to make this change work in the business. And consensus talks about involving employees, engaging, delegating decisions, and also delegating responsibility for updating content. It is very important to reuse or to use new technology. Collaborative tools are very important in this case. You basically need to make a transparency that makes the knowledge available to everybody in the organization. The last C, consistency, talks about consistency both in space and time. Consistency in space in the sense that whatever you do corporate-wise will also be done in the same way in business units or subsidiaries, but also consistency over time. So whatever you do now will be improved next year and so on and so forth. So you increase your maturity and you basically reuse the knowledge and the assets you have in your central repository. So how do we really know what is needed to react to market dynamics? What are the market dynamics right now? How would a business find the market dynamics? First thing, there are obviously websites that you can go to, BP Trends, other websites, to see if there are technology disruptions that you need to take into account. But as an experienced architect, we often see that architects tend to break down the whole business in little nitty-gritty details, and when they've broken it all down, they think they know it all. It's not really the case any longer. We now talk about the outside-in approach, where you take the customer view, basically look at your business from the outside. What are the values you're sending? What is the identity that you have as seen from the customer? So we recommend that you build what we call customer journey maps. Basically identify the personas, the typical type of customers you have, and journeys where they interact with different channels with the company. When you have the customer journey map, you're able to, in a classical SWOT analysis, to identify weaknesses in that journey and also opportunities that will be able to sort of drive change through your business, requirements on your business in general. When you've identified new opportunities, start defining your business outcomes, your corporate strategic goals, and the KPIs you wish to use to measure those goals. And when this is done, it's time to work with the capabilities. The capabilities are important because they're not just a good way to talk about what can you do in your business, it's also a good way to communicate with the C-level. And these capability models are in many ways the architect's best tool in order to establish a high level communication. When you have your capabilities defined, you define them as is and to be. What are the scores? What are the properties of the capabilities as it is now, and where do you want to go? And when you've done that, you're able to define the roadmaps, the initiatives or projects that you need to execute in order to implement the change. Obviously, all this needs to have skilled people, resources, methodology defined, tools to support the whole work. This is something that is not just a project, it's a continuous process. And if you implement this in your business, you will be able to react rapidly and to market dynamics and have your business grow. Thank you.